An interesting thing that happened, Gina, about 19 hours ago on, let us find it, on X, a screen time, which is they have a website here. Gina Carano says she'd be willing to return to Star Wars and has no animosity towards Disney. Okay, this came from a Screen Rant article, so let's go and find it. Okay, Screen Rant. Carano. See if we can find this. Okay, so here you go. So this is what it looks like. There it is. Gina Carano confirms she's still willing to work with Star Wars despite a $75,000 lawsuit, which tells me if she's going and let's see where it goes. Gina Carano assures fans there's no animosity towards Disney, and she's open to working on Star Wars again. Claims Gina Carano, she only claims to inform people of the situation, and she's willing to move forward positively. The lawsuit seeks $75,000 damages and rehiring. Disney's trying to hide behind. They basically put a thing in there saying she violated our First Amendment. What? It's a lawyer's trick. Disney is currently invoking First Amendment rights. That's not going to work. She spoke at Fan Expo on Philadelphia panel. According to Carano, there's no malice. So what I think, they're trying to say it doesn't look like there's an agreement in the cards. Let's put it this way. Screen Rant is not something I would go to for my law expertise. It's not like fanboys who started a website know anything about these kinds of things, okay? So I think that she's putting out a peace feather. Their whole watch yourself, Francisco, because I'll ban you if you say anything shitty. Their whole guys underneath this First Amendment thing is lawyerly bullshit before they can come up with a settlement. Okay. Do I think she'll be back? I think it will be wise to bring her back. I get too many trolls here, Francisco, and I've never seen you before. So don't get mad at me for not trusting you, okay? Back off, all right? But anyway, so do I think there's going to be a deal? Probably. I mean, look, the pragmatic business person inside of me says we need her back. This is the right thing to do. But you have to understand is with Kathy Kennedy nominally still at Lucasfilm. In fact, let's go and see Lucasfilm leadership. We have to look and see what is going on here. And, well, there she is, the bitch. But there have been some changes in Lucasfilm leadership. You know, I didn't see any of the people that really need to be fired, but like, I don't remember this guy being there. All right, maybe I just missed him. Joseph Cho, I know who he is. Chris Coxell, I know who he is. Here's one that definitely needs to be fired. Oh yeah, Jacob is right. I mean, but if you go on the Lucasfilm website and go through the leadership, this guy actually had to hire a new assistant because his Rage quit last summer, over Kennedy, whatever. I suggest keeping an eye on things, and the reason why, no, it's not because she's black. It's because she's probably a racist, and because diversity programs at businesses harm the business. Okay, I would rather have people that are prepared and experienced working for me than someone who's hired strictly because they're black, red, yellow, pink with chartreuse spots, or they stick their dicks into light sockets. And we all have to know about it. And then fucking things up and making us lose money. Okay? Not about your skin color. It's about money. It's about doing the right thing. It's about not pissing off your customer base. All right? Which, for Star Wars, it's mostly men. And if the girls that showed up in Star Wars are pissed off about that, we're not represented. Padme Amidala, Mon Mothma, Leia Organa, Ahsoka. Now we got Morgan Elsbeth. Okay, I think women are pretty much wins. I think there's enough women. Okay, yeah, and Jacob's right. It's diversity of thought, and when you hire activists, they're not creatives, and I've said this before a million times. And part of the reason why everything went south with the Gina is because she said things these activists didn't agree with. I mean, she said these things that these people didn't want to hear, and about everything, and they got pissed off. All right, and Kennedy didn't like her to begin with because Kennedy is going to be 71 years old. She has to have obvious Botox, which has gone to her brain, so it's made her crazier. She's narcissistic, and she's a product of the Peter principle. She's basically now in a position, or has been in a position, where she is incompetent, which is what happens. People are promoted to positions where they can't function. That's Peter principle. And if you look at The Force Awakens, which I'm going to be honest was a shitty fucking movie, and you go into that, and then you go into The Last Jedi, which was a really shitty fucking movie, and then the Rise of Palpatine, the box office starts here and it starts going down, right? Then we get, Rogue One, which was received well, probably the best of any of the movies she produced. Then we get Solo, lost money. Indiana Jones went like that. Okay. Kennedy just cannot run a film studio in the right way. Okay, it's just not possible for her. She doesn't have the skills to accomplish the mission. Okay. And when I was working in DC, first for the Leadership Institute and then for Majority Leader Army, we were given a list of rules. And one of the rules was personnel is policy. So you had to get your best people out there And fuck you, Mikey. I'm anti-abortion. You know, go fuck yourself. Okay? You fucking Nazi prick. When your personnel is policy, okay? And that means that you hire the very best people who are the face of your office, the face of your business. When you've got Pablo Hidalgo, who, you know, thinks all billionaires should be disappeared and mulched. When you've got pronouns boy Mike or Matt Martin, you've got nasty women there, Christine Baver, that racist, that presenter that does Star Wars Celebration. She's a racist. That does not give you a good look, okay? Because the fans have a narrative. You don't like us. You want to change what we loved about Star Wars, okay? When you walk around wearing t-shirts, Nike ad, I'll give them that. The Force is female. I mean, what else? What are fans supposed to think? You know, when even today with Ahsoka, that was femme-centric. And not because of Rosario Dawson, it was because they can't stop there. Okay, there's no need for a character like Sabine. No need for a character like Harrison Dula. Don't care if they're popular. Okay, they're not popular with the general fandom. Okay, you need the guys because Star Wars is a guys franchise. And again, if you're a woman who doesn't like that and who thinks it's your right to come in and try to usurp it, or some round-headed loser like Ruin Johnson with all the woke shit that he put in there, Vice Admiral Gender Studies, Rose Tico's Maoist, Screed in the Canto Bite, sub plot bullshit that didn't go anywhere, didn't have anything to do. It pisses the fans off, okay? When you do something that is not popular with anybody, but a few screaming, 300-pound, middle-aged women on, Tumblr, or teenage girls who, it's like, I don't care what you think. I don't want to hear it. You're a teenager. Shut the fuck up. Okay. That's my response to any of this. Screaming for Reylo. So instead of doing the right thing and keeping it Star Wars, we get a Reylo kiss and then Kylo Ren dies. And we get, all the other woke crap at the end of the movie. And it nothing is resolved. Nothing. It made it worse. I mean, allowing J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio within 1,000 yards of a Star Wars film in general, you would have to be stoned out of your fucking mind. And obviously, the only reason why JJ came back is because Colin Trevorrow left. His script was better, but it's like, better in what way? Better than like being in the toilet bowl from the sewer? Okay, I mean, that's the level of stupidity going on here. And look, this is all Kathleen Kennedy. She could have gone to Bob Iger when she got the job saying, George has this plan, we are going to implement it. I've been talking to, name the big director, Peter Jackson. All right, Peter Jackson. We can film them all in one shot, just like they did Lord of the Rings. And there you go. Okay. And it would have been done. Okay. What you would have had, you would have probably had a good movie. There would have been a good bunch of movies. There would have been mucho respect for the franchise. And I think people would have been happier. But no, instead we get the McDonald's of film directors, J.J. fucking Abrams. And then we get short, fat, round-headed, left-wing, woke, angry turd boy, Ruin Johnson. And then Colin Trevorrow leaves. How many directors were fired under Kennedy or left? All right. The one from Gareth Edwards, Colin Trevorrow, the two from Soilo. You know, how many gave up on, I mean, yeah, well, it would have been, I mean, I read the script, and instead of doing the Skywalker thing, where Rey is either Han and Leia's daughter that got, kidnapped or whatever, they gave that story to Lando in that stupid novel. He and Luke go out together while Lando's looking for his daughter. It's like, you stole that from me, you fuckers. That wasn't Lando. That was Han. Okay? Instead of Rey and idiot, ugly boy Kyle Ron being brother and sister, which would have made sense. They are, Kyle Ron was friends with the family maid's daughter, and that's who Rey was. Look, Colin Trevorrow's British. Having someone who's that deep into class structure, who grew up reading Henry Fielding, or Henry James, Henry Fielding, and Charlotte Bronte and fucking Pride and Prejudice, couldn't do it the way that it should have been done. They didn't look, at its heart, Star Wars is a very American story. Think about it. You've got a kid who's adopted from a backwater planet who discovers all these gifts he's got, and he goes and saves not only the whole galaxy, but his father. All right. He came from fucking nowhere. All right. You look at Elon Musk came from nowhere. And no, daddy didn't give him any money. Okay. His mother worked her ass off when she left South Africa. So shut the fuck up. They had nothing. All right. It's the fact that Elon is extremely talented, intelligent. He knows what to look for in the people he hires, and that's why he is who he is. But you get other people like that. All right. Vince Lombardi was born in Sheepshead Bay, New York. His dad, I think, was a barber. Grew up in a large family. Went to Catholic school. Ended up playing football for Fordham University. As a midget that big. Yeah, in that. Yep, and Wintrell is right. And he ended up, coaching. I think he coached Fordham, and then he was an assistant coach for the New York Giants. He coached the offense. Tom Landry of the Cowboys was the assistant coach for defense, and then he was also an assistant coach at West Point. He then went to the Green Bay Packers and created, and I'm going to say this is my opinion, I don't give a fuck what anybody says, the greatest football dynasty of all time. He took a bunch of guys who were mediocre and made them magnificent. All right. Bart Starr was a 15th round draft choice. 5 championship rings later. The first MVP in Super Bowl history. Okay. That's just somebody who came from humble beginnings and did this. So in Star Wars, we've got an orphan, we've got a girl from upper class, an outlaw. And, you know, and I've always said this, the left used to be the people who said, well, you have to give that criminal, that these people a chance, and because people change. Now they're like, people don't change. So it was very easy for them to condemn Han Solo, because once a scoundrel, always a scoundrel, right? Luke, they changed him because who he was and what he was did not fit their idea. Okay, and it look, as someone who, I got a minor in English lit, so I know a little bit about characterization and a little bit about storytelling. That's not how you write good stories, because it doesn't make sense. If you look at humanity and you're not a moron who, was, taken over by, that's fine, but we're not talking about that. All right, Cross, I'll leave it up to you what you want to do with this person. I'm Catholic, I don't need to be evangelized. Maybe you do. I don't know, truth, go away. Stop trolling. You don't write stories like that. You don't write things like that where you see a character arc change like this, and then they're not who they used to be. They've gone up. That's a good story. Take them from that and make them go down again. All right. You got to take everything into consideration. And the people that made the sequel trilogy don't know how to do that. But again, if you go to colleges nowadays, they're going to get deconstruction, the Frankfurt School. And if you look it up, okay, Andrew Breitbart wrote a book about it, okay, and he was right about it. The reason why we got drunk deadbeat dad Han Solo and whoever that was, Jake Skywalker, is because J.J. Abrams and even Larry Kasdan, at first, are very much devotees of the Frankfurt School. The reason why Larry Kasdan never got along really with George Lucas is because George wouldn't let him fuck with the characters. Okay. And once he got to The Force Awakens and George wasn't around, he was able to fuck with the characters. Okay. Look, you're talking about a baby boomer who probably protested Vietnam, probably listened to professors who came out of the Frankfurt School. A lot of these people had immigrated from Europe when the Nazis went into the universities and started spreading their hokum here. And it's really interesting how badly this whole thing, they've taken over feminism. If you look at it, it was the right to vote, the right to work, and we got that. Okay, nothing else. Now we've got women out there who don't only want to be equals, and we're equal but different, and equal doesn't mean being the same. Okay, women and men are not the same. All right, and I'm glad about that. Vive la différence. They want to be superior. They want to be superior. And that's the problem. They want to be better. And this is why we get femme-centric Star Wars. Now we've got The Acolyte coming on. But tomorrow, all right, Disney has their earnings calls at 8:30 in the morning. Normally it's at 4:30 in the afternoon. And when they do this, it's to get an announcement out before the stock market opens, before the bell rings at New York Stock Exchange. And the reason why is because they've got an announcement coming that's going to be big. And I think smart money is on a new CEO coming in like next year or at the end of next year. Of course, you can hope it's going to be a change of direction at Lucasfilm. They're announcing Kathleen Kennedy is retiring or something like that, even though I think that the announcement would probably be, they can make that announcement anywhere, but it could be anything, okay? But it's going to be positive. And it's one of these things where you're going, okay, what could it be and why? They have a very big job to do. The biggest thing they have to do, I think, in my opinion, is to fix what's broken with their movies and their streaming. And like I've said before, when they were faced with a Ray movie, R-A-Y, I'm not gonna refer to the character with their female name, and the Trashlight, what could do the most damage? A Ray movie. Okay. There are still Rays from TLJ at our Hollies. And there are a bunch of Zori Blisses too, which is hilarious. This is the failure of the sequel trilogy. All right. This is, people hate it. They don't want to see it. They're not going to support it. If you look at Hasbro Pulse, their new stuff from Star Wars Day, everything was, if it was new, it was from the Acolyte, and they're not going to sell any of those. I mean, look, the new trailer for the Acolyte, it was up to 58% dislikes. The comments are, fuck Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. Okay. That's a pretty big rejection right there. Okay. And they're doing their best with what they've got, but Leslie Headland did not make any friends with the fans, but we'll talk about that. They have to fix the streaming. Okay, now, I think the new next season of Ahsoka has to pull back on Sabine and pull back on Harrison Dula, give us more Ezra, and, with Ahsoka, give us more Ahsoka, and give us more Baylan Skull, and tell us what's going on. And then when they get to the galaxy, we know, give us the OG. Give us the OG characters because they're the ones that are fucking running the show, basically. Okay. That's what people want to see. And when I look at, like, Harrison Dula, she's a throwaway character. And the only reason why she's in it is because she's a woman. She's female. There's no other reason to have her on there. You could have made up a different character. She's a dead end reflection of Kennedy's bullshit. The Force is female. But yeah, start getting back to good storytelling and give the guys their kudos, their due. Now, Ahsoka did that with Ezra, and Ahsoka did that with Anakin, big time with Anakin. Okay, he's in the world between worlds, hoping, ready to balance, put the Force in balance again. All right, because he is the chosen one. Okay, when you see him switching between Anakin and Vader, he's the chosen one. All right, because what did the Father say to Anakin? I am both dark side and light side. I keep my children in balance. All right. That's Anakin's job. I mean, that was, in Clone Wars, he was told that by the Father. So there you go. These are the things you need to concentrate on. Okay. Bad Batch. All right. It was not femme-centric. I mean, there were women on there. But in the end, you had Echo, you had Captain Rex, you had Hunter, who's my favorite of the Bad Batch, Wrecker, okay, Crosshair, and then Omega, who, you know, as a little girl, she holds her own. But that's it. I mean, she's not overpowering, okay? And what was cool is that you saw this familial congenial thing going on with all of them, and no one was bigger than the other one. Kojak? I think Amazon is here. Kojak, stop it. Come on. Come on. I'll take it out in a minute. Kojak! Can you guys hear him? Oh, you. Come here. Come here, old man. Come on. Good boy. Yeah, you're keeping everybody safe, huh? He's got to go outside. Okay, so, but they can do that. We've seen them do that. And I think The Acolyte is one and done. I mean, they're giving us 2 episodes. Who's going to watch it? I mean, so, again, we've got, this is what I suggest. Get up in the morning. I'm going to get up. I'm going to be live. We're going to watch this all together. We're going to watch the earnings call together. And we'll be able to kind of talk through what's going on. Now, Gina, I told you about Gina Carano, that she said at Philadelphia Comic-Con that she was definitely into coming back to Star Wars. And of course, you know, Screenwriter had to say, yeah, but Disney lawyers filed a free speech motion, First Amendment, blah, blah, blah. They don't want her to come back. Look, Screen Rant probably has a direct access to Pablo and the rest. And they're not into the free speech thing. They're very much politically correct, woke assholes there. And of course they don't want her to come back. That's why they said it. They don't know anything about law. They don't know anything about the law. They don't know anything. I mean, Disney did that with Florida during the lawsuit. And now they made an agreement with Disney, with Florida. You know, and like at the time when everything was going down 2 years ago, we knew there was a backdoor to the governor's office because Disney has to be able to talk to the governor's office in Florida, no matter who it is. And anybody saying anything else sounds like a fucking moron who probably voted, I don't know, for Tony Evers in Wisconsin or Joe Biden. Okay, they don't understand. Or they're just angry conservatives. Okay, they don't understand how these things work. Okay, you can't run a business as big as Disney without being able to talk to the government. Okay, there you go. So there goes that. So do I think I would expect an agreement between Gina and Disney to come up soon. And I think Iger, because this is who he is. He's a guy that wanders around smoothing the ruffled feathers of creatives. I would expect him to say, make a deal with her. Okay, make a deal with her. And really, it's not going to hurt Disney. It's a money-making machine, like Jacob Muha said here. Okay, it's the right decision. Now let's talk about Tales of the Empire. Episodes 1 through 3 were good. They were anticlimactic. We did get to see Rook, the Negeri, from Heir to the Empire, the book. And it was awesome. And it was, I didn't really know what that was. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, that's Rook. So it was great. Okay, because I mean, that was an introduction to a creature that we needed. Okay. And then Grand Admiral Thrawn, voiced by Lars Mikkelsen, and of course, it was great. And then episodes 4 through 6. First off, Bear Zofri framed her best friend in the Clone Wars, caused Ahsoka to leave the Jedi Order, and pissed off Anakin Skywalker. So why would someone like that suddenly find their voice as a Jedi again? All right, that was stupid. Okay, because she was on a bad path and should have stayed on it. That would have made more sense. We get to see Vader, but he doesn't say anything. And Ophia didn't realize that was Anakin Skywalker. And then part 5. Now, one of the guys here, one of my subscribers here, said that hey David, the pronouns that we heard in English, the woke shit, they didn't get in the Spanish language version. So if you're German or Norwegian or French or anybody and you saw it, please advise, because if they are in the mountains and they are still alive, if that went from they're in the mountains and she's still alive, then we've got something big time, because here's the deal. I think that whole woke episode was a fuck you to the fans and to somebody that did not want the woke shit anymore. And it was like a middle finger as somebody's leaving. Okay. Again, it was, okay, all right, see you around, Cross. It was really, how can I describe it? It just, I didn't hear it the first time. So I'm like, I didn't hear that. What are you talking about? Went back on Saturday night to watch it when I had time, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And it just struck me, if the woke shit, except for the way the person looked, that this Jedi, very masculine looking woman, if they didn't use, if there weren't pronouns in that, then it was a fuck you in English to somebody. I mean, because look, it's not consistent. Or if they couldn't translate what that meant into Spanish, German, Norwegian, French, Russian, Hungarian, whatever. Okay. So you're kind of scratching your head going, what's going on here? Well, all right, this is my opinion. We've got some very pissed off people at Lucasfilm. And, you know, I'm not going to say Dave Filoni is perfect. You know, obviously his wife is woke. I'm not going to sit there and get into that. I don't know why he would allow it. But if there were different cuts and the Spaniards got a cut that didn't have any of the woke terminology, then we had it shoved down our throats for a reason. And I'm not sure if the principals at Lucasfilm were aware that was going to be the version coming out until it came out, because shit like that happens all the time. And with Kennedy on the way out the door, okay, and change is coming. It wouldn't surprise me if someone, if there was some fucking around going on. But again, Sparrow hasn't come back and talked to anybody. Conrad's on a vacation, even though he did put it out what Gina said to said to people at Philadelphia Fan Expo or Comic Con or whatever they call it. Hey Mike, I just find it interesting that we were the ones that got the woke terminology. If it doesn't exist in the other, in the translations. Because if it doesn't, something uncool happened then. All right, now, I could probably do a translation into German of all that. What the fuck are you even talking about? What does that have to do with what I'm go away. Go away. Jeez Louise. You know, I don't really know. Yeah, this was in Tales of the Empire. And one of my subs here said they didn't use any woke terminology in the Spanish version. So I'm like going, now that might be the way the language is. And there have been a lot of lefties who want to change how Spanish is, the Spanish grammar, because it's too masculine. They want to do that with German too, which would be like, look, German was hard enough to learn back in the day. Why the fuck would you make it worse? Look, it's like the new math. When they do stuff like that, it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And in English, it doesn't make any sense. Because when the little boy tells Bear Sophie they are in the mountains, you immediately think they're two or more. When you see one, you're like, okay, maybe one escaped. Maybe Barris is going to chase that one. Now, what would have made sense is if the Inquisitors are successful, Barris kills one, and the other one kills the one she was fighting, and that's the end of it. Then they get into part 3, where Vader realizes who she is, and something in him snaps. Now remember, oh look, we've got a fucking Nazi here. Would you like the bomb dropped on your head, or would you like the 1st Armored Division to come roll through your house? Because that's exactly what people like that earned in 1945, or a Soviet shell dropped on their heads. Either way. No, I'm not Jewish. I'm Catholic. Okay? And we're not talking about this here. Okay? And really, as an American, it's not important to me. Okay? I don't give a shit if you believe in Martians. Okay? So you can shut up and get with no, you're a fucking troll. Fuck you. Jesus! Stay the fuck off my goddamn channel. If you're gonna bring up that shit that doesn't need to be talked about on my channel, stay the fuck off of it, you fucking idiots. I don't want to hear about your goddamn politics. All right? I don't give a shit. All right? So back to Vader and Ophi. I really think a confrontation between him and her should have happened. I think it would have made sense. And if you look at 9 years after Order 66, Vader's chasing Kenobi around. It would make sense that something in him would snap upon realizing who she was and how she betrayed Ahsoka and him. Okay? Him thinking Ahsoka was dead. Okay? You know, that would have made more sense. And it would have kept it, I think, within bounds. But to have, in the 6th episode, her walk out with a fucking butch haircut, looking 5 million years old, when I don't think she was gone 6 months. And then, it was just stupid. The whole episodes 4 through 6 of Tales of the Empire was dumb. Episodes 1 through 3 were good. Did it compare well with Tales of the Jedi? No. No. Tales of the Jedi was good. Okay, that was some good shit. This was half good and half fuck off. Okay, that's why I think somebody had a lot of fun. Yeah, I saw that, and I think it's great. I'm gonna go see it on Wednesday. They have a noon showing at one of the theaters, so I'm gonna go and sit my butt down in a nice movie theater and stay out of the rain. It'll be fun. I actually like going to Star Wars movies and seeing these movies all over again at the theater because that's where they're meant to be seen, you know. I went at the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. I was there, and this idiot girl, millennial bitch, had her 5-year-old daughter there dressed up like Rey, and I was pissed off. I mean, how dare you walk that kid in there dressed like an idiot and then take me right out of the movie, my favorite of all of them. Pissed. Anyway, you know, but I really think there's something about the filming and the creation of Tales of the Empire that makes you want to question it. Like, what is going on here? What is, you know, why would it go from being fairly good to what the fuck did I just see? You know, like Rian Johnson suddenly appeared and put all his wacky shit. 'Cause that's what it was. It was wacky shit. Anyway, but tomorrow morning I will be back early with my coffee, probably maybe with makeup on, but I'm sure as hell not gonna probably be wearing my robe and my PJs because I don't move too fast in the morning anymore. I don't like it. I used to get up way early to go see the horse, and the barn that she's at, it's a big barn with a wide alleyway. And when they clean out the stalls, they drive a tractor through. So if you go out there to see your horse, there's no place when the tractor's there, there's no place to put her so you can groom her and get her saddled up if you're gonna ride. And because there's cross ties. Cross tie is like a length of rope with a thing on the end, and one side of the halter, the other side of the halter, so they stand still. Okay, so you can do the 360, you know, detailing of the animal, and you know, I just got sick of waiting. I go up there, I want to get done. Okay, want to get her tacked up, want to take her out to the arena, you know, when I rode her, take her out on a trail, and get my stuff done with her, and then go on with my day. And when you gotta wait for 2 hours or 3 for the kid to get done, and it's like, no. So, you know, I wait until afternoon when he's gone. But anyway, I gotta go, but we'll be in here in the morning. God knows what Disney's going to announce, but if I was a betting person, and I am, by the way, my horse Sierra Leone lost the race because he didn't run the race. He should have. He was trying to lean into Forever Young, and it was like the jockey's got his arm locked like this and pushing Forever Young away. At the end of the race, the video, there's video of it, and Mystic Dan won by a nostril flare, and I'm like, well, it was a good race, a lot of fun, but some people lost money, and I was one of them. But if I was betting on what Disney was going to do, I would say it's a new CEO. All right, that's a name announced. I don't think the timing is quite up to what is. I think the timing's a little too fast. But God knows. I mean, that's all I can think of. I think announcing Kennedy's resignation and George Lucas coming back in an advisory role, not the head of Lucasfilm, probably could be told in the trades. But I don't know. All right. It could be Kevin Feige's being replaced. And I'd be like, big deal. Who fucking cares? Fix Lucasfilm. Anyway, and I really don't care about Marvel anyway. But you guys have a good day and a good afternoon. And, there's a lot of stuff going on that they're not telling anybody about. What you gonna do? This stuff, signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.